And the winner is a very, very popular player for the 2001 Dally M Award goes to a Cronulla Sharks player, Preston Campbell.
Put it there, champ. Good on you. Here he is. What a great year he's had. Fantastic year. What a great little footballer.
My footy was going really well. I was on the up and up, and there was just something in my head, something in my mind that I couldn't get over, and I just couldn't beat it. Just a feeling of loneliness. I felt cold all the time, a bit of darkness. And I'd had enough. It was just so painful, and I just felt like I couldn't go on feeling like that anymore. I drove my VS Commodore into a tree, and that was it. And it happened so quick. All these feelings just built up so much. I didn't pick the tree. I didn't pick where I was going to do it. It just bang. And I just felt like that, and I just went off the road and hit the first tree that was there.
Drug abuse, and I saw a lot of alcohol abuse. We actually hitchhiked about 3,000 kilometres from Perth to Kununurra. That was pretty interesting, and it wasn't the best environment for me. And Dad struggling with his own addictions as well. He couldn't really put me first. It was a really horrible time to be in. It was a horrible things to see. And at the same time, I guess, since then, I've just missed them. I've had a lot of identity issues. Not being where my country is and my Aboriginal family is, that's been something that's really hard for me. I've had a lot of trouble connecting to a lot of things. It started getting to the point where I was scared to be alone because I thought I just wanted to kill myself. I just didn't want to feel this anymore. I'd be driving home from work, or I'd be driving home from even a swim on the beach, and I would just want to drive into a car or drive my car into a tree.
Here, they come to the short side. Campbell rubbering for himself, towing again. Preston magic. Absolute magic by Preston Campbell. That's what they needed.
I just felt very, very alone. I felt like no one cared about me. I felt like, even to myself, I just felt worthless.
Here's Albert Kelly racing away for a classic Titans try.
Well, a couple of times where I got really low, intoxicated, and on drugs at 12, and I nearly took my life by riding a BMX bike off a cliff. One of my mates tackled me before I got to the cliff, so it was pretty hard, and yeah, that was the first time I got to the lowest, so yeah, it was pretty tough. I was at a crossroad where I wanted to go, and where I wanted to go, I didn't believe in myself that I could get there, and the other side was, oh, stuff it, I'll see you on the other side. I was low at a young age. I didn't know where to go, and I grew up with my cousins, and they chose their path of being bad boys, and I was pretty much the youngest in the group, and I had to follow them, and and they were showing me the ropes, and I was pretty much out on my own if I didn't follow them. I remember back in 2009, I lost my stepsister, and I didn't know she was my stepsister. I was pretty torn up about it. I left Parramatta ASAP and came home, and I was just shaken up. It was too tough for me, and I ended up getting on the alcohol with all the family and tried to celebrate her life, but depression creeps in when it's pretty much a depressant, alcohol, and it just enlarged the situation at the time, and I went down to the train bridge and was walking along the train bridge in Kempsey. It's a bit, it's really high, and there was a train coming, and I was walking towards the train on the platforms. If I slipped, I probably would have got stuck and the train would have hit me. And a few of my older uncles and cousins came chasing after me and wanted me to get off the train tracks, and I ended up getting off the train tracks just in time. I think it just missed me by like 5 metres. The train was just honking its horn.
There was nights where I'd just cry myself to sleep, and they're saying that real men don't cry. Well, that went out the window because I was crying myself to sleep, just thinking of, if I go now, it'll be all over. I'll just go with Pop and meet him up there. Thoughts of taking my own life was after my grandfather passed away. So he was quite close, but when he passed away, I felt, everything's going wrong at home. There's fights. I can't seem to do anything right. While everyone was asleep, I snuck into the kitchen and got one of the big kitchen knives. I got as far as holding it in my hand, and I had tears running down my eyes just thinking about everything. It felt like a flood. When you watch the flood, like the water comes crashing through. It was just a flood of memories.
In our community, and it is getting worse for our younger people, particularly our primary school children, our children in high school, and that age group, from 15 to 34, So a whole range of people, but yeah, we're seeing more with our younger people, our children in schools. It comes back to that loss of culture and loss of identity, and that all links to our self-esteem, and that self-worth is not there as you would see in a non-Indigenous person.
I've been retired now for 2 years, and a part of my role now is to go out to communities, and it kind of hit home to me when in one community in 1 year, almost 30 people had taken their lives, and this is from the same community, and that for me is just, it's very, very sad.
It is extremely alarming that, in our Indigenous population, it is so high, the rate is so high, so definitely something that we need to address.
It just hurts a lot of people. Suicide can, not only hurt your family, it hurts hundreds and thousands of people around you. Friends, family, everyone, people that know you. It's just tragic.
The more we drank, the better. The more fun it was. We didn't know what we were doing, we didn't know where we were. So the more alcohol we drank, it seemed, we were cooler as well. It's pretty sad looking back at it now. We damaged people's cars just out of the fun of it. They didn't do anything to us, but we'd go as far as damaging their cars. We never stole anything, but we just got a laugh and had fun by knocking mirrors off and putting dints in the side of the cars, so letting their airs out so that they couldn't drive the next day.
They can't stop Ryan James. He is a colossus.
I've had ups and downs. I did my knee about 2.5 years ago, and I could pretty much say I was depressed. I just thought I was coming into my NRL career, had a pretty good season, and then about 2 minutes before half-time in a South game, I snapped my leg pretty much in half, and the thoughts that run through your head, am I going to play footy again? Is my career over? Am I going to make first grade again? Am I going to make a full comeback? Am I going to be 100%? All these things run through your mind, and then I was very unfortunate with my surgery. That got put off for 3 months, and then which made the turnaround time even more. So for an 8-month turnaround, it turned into a 12-month turnaround.
I'd only just cracked the NRL and, my dreams had come true, but I thought, I need to be there at the start of next season to hold my position and hopefully go on to a bigger and better career. So I made it back, probably came back a bit too early, and my second game back, I did my knee again, and then I was out for another 12 months. So that was a pretty tough time for me. I was only 19 and I'd already had 2 knee reconstructions on the same knee. So initially I thought, I was in a dark place. I thought my career was over.
People have sort of been, too proud and scared to come out and say, I'm a bit, sad or a bit down, and, people's pride might get in the way, but it's not too hard to, reach out. People have gone, as I said, for ups and downs, and, it's the ones that go out and reach out to someone and talk to someone about their problems, they get the answers and, finally get through.
It's one of those things that I failed to do, and it took me to a place where I never want to go again, and it took me to a place where I wouldn't like to see anybody go.
Particularly with males, historically, they're probably a bit ashamed or a bit embarrassed to put their hand up, but it really gets to the point where everyone's got loved ones around them and people that are more than willing to help. So if you do get in that dark, deep dark spot, you really do need to put your hand up and look to those people that you look up to and that care about you, and I'm sure they can help you out.
Nothing changed after the car accident. If anything, it got worse. I was piling up my medication to actually, take all the medication that I got from after the accident, and I got this knock on the door. I heard this knock on the door, and that was it. That was my saviour. That was my coach down at Penrith. He kind of put it together. I mean, he said it was too much of a coincidence. The fact that he said he'd noticed things. He'd noticed things a little bit different in me at training, and he just said it was a coincidence that I'd been acting like this, and I'd had a car accident, and I flat out lied to him. I said, no, everything's all right, mate. It was just an accident. And then he'd gone and he'd planned all this this session with a counsellor, behind my back, and I had no idea. I think the hardest thing is to actually bring yourself to say that you need help.
There is support available, whether it's at your local Aboriginal medical service or your doctor, your hospital. There is someone out there who can support you in each of those specialised areas.
For me, the counselling You know, that was a godsend for me. To actually talk to somebody that I didn't know, somebody that was, I guess you could say, neutral. It's not going to judge you.
There's different types of counselling as well, but some of that is also about our own strategies that we can use, you know, improving your exercise, improving your lifestyle, whether it's about, you know, your diet and your nutrition, you know, sleep, you know, that's really an important thing to have, because we know that sleep, people who don't get enough sleep, you know, their mental health is impacted by that.
It's helped having someone, I've had someone to talk to for a long time that are in the exact same boat as me. They're not a professional, they don't have a degree, they don't have any of that, but they can tell me what they did in those circumstances, and they can tell me they understand.
Often there isn't a counsellor in the community or you know, a professional available when someone needs help. So it's about us as family members, community members, being aware of what are the signs and symptoms, what can I do? Appetite, sleep, hygiene, just changes in their mood and behaviour. You know, if someone once enjoyed you know, sport, for instance, and they start to withdraw or not to want to play or go out with friends, you know, that's a sign that you need to be aware of and ask them, you know, what's going on, you know, and that universal question, are you okay? Is everything okay?
I really wanted a family that can watch me, a young family, so they can watch me while I'm playing, and that was pretty much the key. Now I'm at the Titans and I have a young family, and she drives me every day, my daughter, and yeah, she definitely lights me up when I'm finishing training. I'm tired, I go home and all you want to do is sleep, and then she's running around smiling and trying to tackle you. It's hard to not play with her, so yeah, she keeps me on my toes and keeps me happy.
I had to forgive myself too for what I'd done. Otherwise I just would have been beating myself over the head and probably end up in that place again. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it up to Lee and the kids.
Preston Campbell was, you know, he's an absolute idol of mine and a hero. You know, I just think what he's done in the game after what he's been through, you know, it definitely gives hope to everyone, as well as, you know, and in particular the Indigenous kids.
For me, the word is rejection. The thing that sort of triggered a lot of stuff for me. For me, it wasn't right there and then. It didn't just happen like that. For me, it happened years ago. I was bullied as a young person. I wasn't the biggest bloke, and I was rejected from a lot of groups, whether it be football teams, didn't get selected in footy teams or any other sort of thing because of my height, and maybe sometimes because of the colour of my skin.
If I can't find anything to be happy for, I know I can always look up to the sky and see that every single day it's different. There can be clouds in the sky that won't be there the next day. It can be a different sort of blue.
You can go kick stones, or you can look at the positives and try and work back to, you know, where I am now. So I'm happy with where I'm at now, and, you know, I'm going to work harder and try and, you know, keep a spot in the first grade squad.
It does scare me looking back now. I just know how hard it would be for a lot of people who do care about me.
I normally get real angry when I'm sad on alcohol, and, you know, if I drink alcohol when I'm happy, I'm happy. So, you know, I've minimised that and made sure that I don't trigger any of my demons.
I've got a girlfriend now, and it's all moving forward. You know, got a new car and playing some good football at the moment. So it's all moving forward, and got the job that I love. So
for me, I don't think I can feel much more pain than what I had. So, mate, I just enjoy life now. You know, I enjoy it with my family, and I just enjoy everyone. Doing things right because I didn't want anybody to know